used to play here, the baseball ground was like an absolute tip. Southern teams, you know, used to come up dressed in big kipper ties, and all of a sudden it's muck up to the ankles, and straight away we know we were going to win.
The Goal Rush on ITV with Coca-Cola.
Just 10 days to go before Christmas and the Premiership title race is wide open. We're here through until 5 o'clock to bring you the next chapter in the Premiership story and news of all the late goals as they hit the back of the nets. Into the second half now in today's games, and these are the very latest scores for you. It's Bolton 0, Charlton 0, Everton 0, Derby County 0, Middlesbrough 0, Manchester United 0, Newcastle 0, Blackburn 1, Southampton 1, Sunderland 0, and Tottenham 2, Fulham 0. Les Ferdinand there getting the 10,000th goal in Premier League history. West Ham 1, Arsenal 1. And Ron Atkinson and John Barnes are here. Now, Ron, you are watching something of a stalemate between Middlesbrough and Manchester United.
Yeah, first half, a war of attrition, lots of closing down, lots of stifling, but nothing much happening at either end. Goalmouth incident. Second half, far better. United have made a couple of tactical changes. They put Nicky Butt on the left-hand side, right on the left-hand side of midfield. Beran, who played right against the touchline in the first half, has come into midfield as the playmaker. And United now are playing with a real purpose. And they're looking to me as if they're likely to open up their account very shortly. OK,
Ron, thanks very much indeed. John, you are watching West Ham against Arsenal. 1-1 as it stands at the moment.
Yeah, Arsenal could have gone 2-1 up after Ashley Cole scoring the equaliser. Grimondi of all people, although they just had a corner which David James caught safely. Grimondi got in the box. Henry, in his favourite inside left position, went down the line, put a great ball in, and Grimondi came sliding in and hit the crossbar. West Ham came back with a corner, and they could have scored when Sinclair had a header which was cleared off the line by Daly, his own player of all people, when the ball was heading for the back of the net. And after those two incidents, the game just settled down more to just midfield playing each other out. OK, John, thanks very much indeed. So Canute with the opener for West Ham, Ashley Cole with the equaliser. Don't forget, highlights of all this afternoon's Premiership games at 10:30 this evening. We'll pick out the main scorelines for you in the Nationwide and Scottish League shortly, but let's catch up with the other big stories in the Premiership so far. Let's go straight off to White Hart Lane, where Tottenham are leading Fulham by 2-0. Adam Dark.
Yep, Tottenham 2, Fulham 0. Still Spurs lead by those first half goals from Les Ferdinand and Darren Adderton. Good chances though for either side in this second half. Gus Poyet with a header which bounced just over the top of the bar at the other end. Steed Malbronk, who's broken forward well, flashed a shot just over, couldn't keep it down. Not much between these two teams really though. The difference is the strikers. Up front, Les Ferdinand and Teddy Sheringham look lively for Spurs. At the other end, Barry Hales and Louis Saha look lightweight and lacking in confidence. It's Spurs 2, Fulham 0.
Surprise scoreline at St James's Park, where Blackburn are leading Newcastle by 1-0. Roger Thames.
Yes, they're still leading by that David Dunn first half goal, but the pattern is still the same as well. It's Newcastle doing all the pressing. Olivier Bernard could well have scored his first Premiership goal to equalise, but he sent a header from 6 yards wide. Kieran Dyer is on, and also Lamana Luan. That has given Newcastle a greater sense of invention, although Dyer did look a little bit rusty when he completely miscued a shot from a good shooting position inside the box. But it's still Newcastle 0, Blackburn 1 at the moment.
Could it be a second successive victory for Southampton at St Mary's? Tony Lockwood.
On current evidence, the answer is yes. An own goal by Jody Cranach has put Southampton within sight of back-to-back wins for the first time this season. The goal arrived late in the first half. Chris Marsden's cross met by Cranach, who could only divert the ball past his own goalkeeper, Thomas Sorensen. Sunderland's 1+ point has come with the performance of new signing Claudio Reyna, who's threatened throughout, but it's Southampton who lead by the single goal.
No goals at the Reebok between Bolton and Charlton. With the latest, Steve Roberts.
Great entertainment for the fans, though it's anybody's guess why it was goalless at the break. Rickett smashed a shot against the Charlton crossbar, and his teammates Wallace, Nolan and Bergson should all have done much better from close in. In between all that, well, Lisby was clean through on goal for Charlton, but Jääskeläinen was out smartly to block his shot. It's been all Bolton in the second half, Rickett and Wallace raiding down the flanks, and it's their runs that have led to a couple of opportunities for Kevin Nolan, the second of which dipped inches over the crossbar. Goalless so far, but thrilling nonetheless.
No goals there, no goals at Middlesbrough, where Manchester United are playing, and Ryan Giggs has just been brought on by Sir Alex Ferguson, his first game back after a lengthy spell out through injury. No goals either at Goodison Park, Everton Derby. Keith Macklin.
And so it continues. Everton should have had it won at half-time. They're still pressing. They've hit the post through Pistones. He Rickett head from under the bar, and great chances have been missed by Alexanderson, Gravesen and Gemmill. But at the moment there's no play because Gravesen and Powell had a horrendous collision of heads at halfway. Gravesen has already been carried off. I think Powell will be carried off, and the only ray of sunshine for Everton is that will bring Gaza on. But it's all Everton, but no goals.
In the First Division, both Burnley and West Brom are drawing against lower league opposition. Norwich and Watford have 1-goal advantages. Let's go off to the Scottish Premier League. Celtic have come from behind and are leading Dundee by 2-1. Alistair Merning.
Well, I can tell you that the fans, the players and everyone else is literally in the dark at the moment because the floodlights have failed at Parkhead. On the hour mark, half of the floodlights went out, and then 2 minutes later, the rest of them went out. We have some lighting on the pitch. The players didn't want to go off, but for safety reasons, the police have asked them to leave the field. We've just had another police announcement that said that they're trying to fix the fault, and they hope that the game will continue in about 15 minutes' time. We'll just have to wait and see if someone can throw some light on the situation.
Stoke are leading Wycombe by 4-1. That means they would go top of the second division if that scoreline stays the same. We're going to turn our lights out for a few moments. See you in a couple of minutes. Equaliser at St James's Park. Roger Thames.
A new name for you, perhaps. Olivier Bernard, only his first Premiership start for Newcastle and now his first Premiership goal. And it was a good one as well. Excellent passing from Loire and Solano, and Bernard just inside the box hit a really strong left foot shot into the bottom left-hand corner and really made this scoreline a far more accurate reflection of what's gone on before. And they just got an equaliser. I'm sorry, just got another goal. It's Gary Speed over on the far side who's just looped a header right the way across the face of the Newcastle, of the Blackburn goal, and it's 2-1 now. Gary Speed has got one there just as we're talking. So Bernard first, and now Speed have turned this game around. Newcastle 2, Blackburn 1.
So from behind, Newcastle now lead by 2-1, and Southampton now have a 2-goal cushion over Sunderland. Tony Lockwood.
Indeed they do. That Southampton revival gathers pace. Marion Pahars, who scored in last weekend's win at Leicester, has repeated the feat as he thumped the ball in off the underside of the Sunderland crossbar. Jody Crannick's own goal had given the Saints a first-half lead, now on course for a second successive victory. It's Southampton 2, Sunderland 0.
It's the fourth successive home match in which Marion Pahars has scored. No other goals in the Premiership to tell you about, so let's go off to the leaders in Division 1. Might be in the Premiership next season. They will be if they go on their current form. They've won 5 on the trot. It looks like it could be 6 on the trot now. Paul Hartley.
Well, if they carry on playing this badly and winning, they certainly will be next season in the top flight. They're now 3-1 up Burnley. They took the lead on the 65th minute. Ian Moore got clear, played the ball back to Glenn Little, and there was Gareth Taylor to head the home side in front. And then a minute ago, a great ball in from the left. Found Ian Moore himself this time clear in the 6-yard box, and he slotted home past Lee Jones. Burnley 3, Stockport 1.
Important scoreline coming in from the Bescot, where Walsall have taken a 2-goal advantage. They've lost 4 of their last 5 games. Let's hear about that second goal. Steve Lee.
Yes, it's Walsall 2, Grimsby 0, and the gloom of a relegation scrap on a freezing December afternoon has been illuminated by the skill of Walsall's Brett Angel. The ball fell to him on the edge of the box and he lobbed it perfectly over Danny Coyne for the second goal. Here's another chance for Walsall. Oh, nearly Brett Angel with a third there, but that's 2-0 to Walsall. The first from Frederick Biancalini, so Walsall heading for 3 very valuable points. Walsall 2, Grimsby 0.
Well, nearly a third there for Walsall. There has been a third for Tottenham at White Hart Lane. Adam Dark.
It's Tottenham 3, Fulham 0, a goal by Simon Davis, a lovely goal too, cutting inside his marker and planting a shot past Edwin van der Sar again at his near post. Tottenham good value for this 3-0 lead. Fulham committing more men forward but lacking any kind of belief in forward areas, really summed up by a header from Barry Hales, which was tame after a lovely run and cross by Steve Finnan. Spurs have brought off Les Ferdinand, they've brought on Sergei Rebrov, and they're cruising their lead 3-0.
Ron, Manchester United coming back into this game?
Oh, coming back, they're dominating it completely all over Middlesbrough now. Well, I say all over. The Middlesbrough are desperate for the final whistle, and there's still plenty to go. And there's the goal.
Who's got it?
Just seen it. Van Nistelrooy. Giggs, who'd come on as sub. We kept saying they need left wing thrust. Ran at the defence, flew a ball across the box. I think that Crossley may have got a little parry on it. And then Van Nistelrooy was in like he is, a 6-yard snapper. And but it's been coming. They've just been raiding, and that's not a surprise, I must tell you.
Good timing. Thanks very much indeed, Ron. John, any sign of a breakthrough in your game between West Ham and Arsenal?
No, Arsenal are probably pushing forward a little bit more. Not as one-sided as probably the Manchester United game, because West Ham on the counter-attack with Joe Cole in particular looking good. But Arsenal are now pushing people forward more and playing with a little bit more urgency. But they still haven't got the shape of the team right. So they really are relying on individuals to maybe do something special. And of course, with the quality of individuals that they have, there still is that possibility. But it won't be through any good team play.
OK, it's 1-1 John's game and Ron's game. Manchester United lead by a goal to 0 at the Riverside. We'll take a break. We'll see you in a couple of minutes. We're with you now uninterrupted through to the end of the programme, and Everton's good home form is continuing at Goodison Park. Keith Macklin.
Yes, it had to come. A chance had to be put away sooner or later. It came from a long throw-in by Steve Watson back at fullback on the right. Joe Maxmore, the half-time sub, came in, and when a shot took a deflection in the air,